How did it do, Exiles? I thought that last video was going to be the last build update. I lied. I went ahead and spit more div on the RF build just because it is so it is so much fun, and I just kind of enjoy blasting maps. This is a 20% deli, toxic sewer, ambush strat, and I know you're supposed to be doing these with like the 2 div scarab on T17s, and we can do T17s, but I just can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to do T17s. I don't know why. I don't enjoy them. I just want to blast T16s and look out for my handful of mods that really cuck my build, and that's exactly what this build kind of excels in. So we ended up getting a brand new helmet. We got a new chest piece. I could spend another 5 to 6 div on a couple of awakened gems, but that's only like an extra 100k DPS. I don't know if it's really worth it at this point. I don't think I would really notice that. And you know, when it's just the chest that we got is just a simple explodey chest. You're just as well to go with a cloak of flame for a little bit more defenses. I just wanted to see how the explodey chest felt. Crafted it for like 300 chaos at lunch, and it's a real basic chest piece. Currently RF is feeling very good. Even on 20% deli, we are having very little issue clearing maps. Every once in a while we might get one shot by an ice nova, but I haven't seen it since I got the new chest piece, and now we're at, you know, almost 6k life, so it doesn't seem to be that bad right now. So, you know, as it stands, the build is a great deal of fun. This build should be set for whatever most of the farming strats. It's safe for a few, like, you know, maybe like Legion. We probably don't have the damage for extra prefix, suffix, expedition. That gets extremely hairy very quickly. But for the most part, like, this is good for your general farming. If you want to just blast some maps, honestly, this thing pretty much rocks, and I'm absolutely loving this build. So now you got a little taste of what it looks like. 20% deli. It's just a solid all around build. Now we do have quite a bit invested, right? We just made the chest. Just spent 2.5 div on the necklace for the mark, which we're gonna go over now, or here in a second. And we spent 15 divine on a brand new helmet, and that was well worth the upgrade.
The assault.
That was well worth the upgrade, considering it was like a 300 to 350k damage boost to our RF, just the RF. So I think it was well worth the money. So I'm gonna end it here, and I will. I'll see you guys when we're looking at the gear. Okay, so here we are at the gear. Nothing has really largely changed from the last video. We don't really care about the +1 levels to fire skill gems because we're not using, like, our utility setup I don't really care what the damage is, and RF doesn't scale off gem levels anymore, so it's like I'm a bit less incentivized to try and go for like the absolute pinnacle of void scepters. And so, you know, I did a look up on what, you know, my next bit of damage is, and, you know, we're looking at, you know, 15-20 divines for maybe 30 to 50k DPS, and that's just not worth it. You know, we're getting into the upper echelon where it really, you have to invest an extreme amount to get a little bit of boost. So this is what we're rocking for the scepter. Our rings, we got those qualityed on life, as well as our necklace. We have snow forged allocated for our anoints. Same little shield, same boots, same belt, same gloves, run of the mill. I mean, we could start doing some min-maxing on our implicits, but you know, at the end of the day, I don't think it's gonna make that big of a difference. It might be something I do for the funsies. But, you know, that kind of remains to be seen. Now, flash are the same. Now, for the chest, here is the chest that I made. It's nothing crazy. Honestly, this was just like something I wanted to do for fun. It feels nice. We get a lot of extra health. It is nice. I am probably going to stick with this setup, but you're just fine using a Cloak of Flame all the way through. Just make sure to try and get as high a life rolls as you can on your gear. Like eventually, you know, it's probably a good idea to upgrade this and get an extra 30, 40, you know, X amount of life to really, and also more armor is an awful base, but these were cheap and these were, you know, exactly what I needed. So they kind of worked out in our favor. And then we have the brand new 15 div helmet, 18 burning, 18 conk, 30% more Ellie. And it kind of works out for us because we get +1 level to all minion, and we are an elementalist, so we do have our golems, and they are level 21. And so, I mean, I guess another thing you could do is vow these into 21 golems, but you don't really get any benefit other than survivability. And for the most part, they don't die. My AG doesn't really die unless you're doing like really crazy content, like the expedition with the with this scarab right here, with the archaeology scarab. This is a killer. It's such an absolute killer, especially if you're doing the one big boom. You're like pretty much guaranteed to die. You can certainly get away with it without doing the one big and just setting your charges manually. It's a lot easier way to go about it with this build. But yeah, they do stay alive fairly easily, and that's pretty much it. That's it. That's all we're gonna do for this build. We're done. We got all the upgrades we wanted. This is our new farmer. I'm having so much fun with this build. I've barely touched my bleed glad. Right, so this is what I'm gonna farm to make all, you know, this is what I'm gonna use to farm up all my currency, and then we'll start our next build, which I have a feeling is going to be some kind of a wander, maybe a deadeye. I've never really dived into wanding, and it certainly interests me. Something that's a bit more zoomy, and or like a Spectre build, maybe the Frost Mortar guys on Necro. Future tables here. I forgot to go over. I forgot to go over the mercenary. Okay, so for our merc, I upgraded the bow a little bit. It's nothing crazy. Same quiver that we've always had. We got her stats all jacked up, except for the chaos, which is not a big deal. We still got the same scorch and fire conversion belt and boots. However, we did upgrade to a Zop's Heart, which is like really incredible for our single target damage. And so that's the current setup that we have. I pretty much upgraded all of her gear to make her a bit more reliable, though truthfully she didn't really die all that much. Mainly we're getting the Scorch, we're getting the Covered in Ash, we're getting further Fizz conversion to fire, which is, ends up making us just, even more tanky. And this is the setup that we got. She's running Malevolence for our damage aura, as well as Grace, and she provides a great bit of like side dot DPS that I think matters quite a bit to this build, save for the fact that this is our one of the best damaging auras for our build, so it's nice that that she has that as well. So anyways, here's the mark. I forgot to put it in. Goodbye from future tables. But this is it. This is it in its finality. I think it's a really fun build and a really cool idea that is probably not remotely efficient in any way, shape, or form. But it works for what I want it to do, and it works in general. And it can clear T-17s. Mind you, the fights are very, very long on the T-17 bosses. I'm just throwing that out there. It's not a great time. Not a great time. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. This is my build. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys like this content, as per the usual, like, subscribe, share the video. I'm going to probably put this build up on Reddit and just kind of showcase it to people, because I haven't seen really anyone using the Wave of Conviction in this fashion. and I think it's a bit unique and a bit fun and just a bit different, a bit wacky, as it were. So I'm gonna leave you guys here, guys. Hope you have a good rest of the week, and I'll see you wonderful people in the next one. Be good, take care of yourselves, and God bless.